I'll call the November Town Board meeting to order. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Need a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of October 9th, 2024.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Treasurer report.
All right, Pam pulled it up on the screen for those in the room. If you have a paper copy, it's the very last page in your packet if you want to follow along. So the monthly financial statement for October 2024, the beginning balance in our checking was $385,842.
Got an agenda?
Less
Oh,
our
what?
expenses of $29,000, plus our revenue of $3,500, gave us an ending balance in our checking of $359,908. And then our total UBS assets are just over $231,000, giving the township total assets of $591,260. If we move down the page to the middle section for expenses year over year, our expenses were $22,685 higher in October 2024 compared to October 2023. And kind of two main things here. The fire protection from St. Paul Park is about $12,000. We paid this in September last year, so just kind of a timing that you'd see on last month's statement if you wanted to look at that. And then also we obviously have the addition of the road projects for 99th and Pioneer happening in 2024, so driving higher expenses. And then on the revenue side, pretty similar year over year, just slightly higher by $2,087. This was due to higher revenue in our higher dividend revenue in our investment account, and then the cell tower lease timing, an additional payment in October 2024 compared to last year. And then if we go all the way down to the bottom of the page, the very last line, the year-to-date surplus is $262,154. And this is mainly due to the $250,000 we transferred into our checking to pay for the road construction work. And it's nowhere on the page, but just wanted to mention that kind of year-to-date on the road projects for 99th and Pioneer, we spent about $276,000. So we've got, we think, another 30-ish thousand, so should be about $300,000 roughly for the township for those two roads all in, for all the engineering, the construction work, the quality checks, etc. Any questions for me?
I'll make a motion to approve treasurer's report.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Pay the bills.
I'll make a motion to pay bills 181 through 201 for $240,513.79.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any questions? No? Hear none? All right.
Nope.
Any other reports? No? Planning Commission?
I didn't see on the packet whether or not you had received the report from the planning commission. I'll talk a little bit about that. Sent it yesterday. I'll just give you each a copy, just I'm gonna photo on it. It's just one page.
Thank you.
And I'll leave the balance of them by the work we'll build there. So I'll explain a little bit about that. One of the things that we have to do per year, first of all, good afternoon. One of the things we have to do per year agenda is provide a planning commission report. And sometimes we do it verbally, and sometimes we do the best we can in recalling all that activity. So one of the discussions that we had was whether or not we would create the habit of creating a report. That way, no matter who's up here, they can kind of go through the points, provide it for you, sort of enter it for the record and so on. We've only done it a couple of times before, but we think there's one of the requests that we've got for next year. And we want to build a little bit of time between the planning commission and then this meeting in order to give you really a good outline of what is being discussed. So you'll hopefully find no surprises on it. So before I kind of get going with the report, which I'm just going to follow the document that you have in front of you, again, none of it you'll find all that surprising. I just wanted to acknowledge something that was not on the report itself, which is a planning commission member, Ryan Swords, resigned in the month of November. He's been really wonderful, part of the planning commission for I don't know how many years, but maybe you do know. I really don't know.
Look it up. I
Yeah,
don't
you can
know
look.
offhand.
But we really appreciated his background because he had a legal background, and a lot of times he could put us in our place. I think I've been there for about 2.5 years now, and I always found his feedback really useful. So I just wanted to acknowledge that to the community for the service he's done, and thank him for that if he's watching. Let you know that we'll miss him and that we're always recruiting. So any of you that may be interested in participating in that body, please let us know. The appointees, I think Supervisor Polta talked about it last time. Just a reminder on the appointees, each one of you get to have 3, so you can appoint people directly. We've been referring anybody that would be interested to you directly or to Pam, so she can actually make the connections, because with his resignation and now with one of the members being elected to the board, we're down to, I think, 4 folks, if I count that correctly. So we'd be interested in seeing if we can get some other recruits. Anyway, so I'll go to the report itself. We met a couple times in November. First meeting, we held it on the 7th. You know, the primary purpose, we had some new folks. Primary purpose was just really to have a discussion. We had an agenda of a number of items that we just wanted to discuss. It was a really good, healthy, or the chair, Omen was there, really good, healthy discussion on what's our role and what's our process and how can we make sure that we can remain relevant, and how can we get as much of the actions that you need particularly related to zoning, routed through that group in order for us to be able to discuss it, be of value, do research, invoke third-party assistance if we need to, and so on. That was sort of the essence of it. We didn't have any recommendations or any suggestions for you, except we really would like your support to actually move the planning commission meeting to the first Monday of the month instead of the second Monday of the month. That makes us, for the meeting between Monday and Wednesday, a lot of times there's not enough time to actually get our thoughts together. And we don't need to change anything for next month, but we would love to have 25. The planning commission be in the first Monday of the month, and then that gives us about 10 days to get all our thoughts together and so on. And be able to provide these reports and so forth. I don't know if you can take action on that, or you can maybe decide on it later to see if you can grant us that recommendations. That was it. There was just a lot of discussion, but no other recommendations at that planning commission meeting. We're also trying to follow public meeting law, so anytime that we're going to have a discussion, we really want to make sure that we've got a public meeting behind it. That was really the essence of it. So let me know if there's any questions about that meeting at all. If not, I'll move to the regular meeting on the 11th. So we met on the 11th. The primary agenda item, I'm on the 1, 2, 3, the 4th paragraph. Primary agenda was really to review the mining permit, the 25 mining permit. We had quite a bit of discussion of it, but fundamentally, and I'm transitioning to the next paragraph, we didn't have too much of a presentation, but we engaged in discussion, and we would like to recommend, and I don't think you'll find this surprising because I think we've been recommending it every time, and I highlighted the recommendation that the mining permit application and variance requests are submitted to a land use planning company such as SHC. SHC are the folks that we've used in the past, or similar, for a comprehensive review of its integrity and merit. In other words, we don't feel qualified in order to review that thoroughly, and we would like to engage a third party to assist us with the review of those documents, the continuity between the documents that have been filed in the past, and particularly the consistency or integrity between the approved CUP that's with the county, which I know that you know that expires the end of next year, and the new permit app, because we think, but we're not necessarily qualified, we think that there's inconsistencies between what the CUP has approved as an extraction zone and what the permit is requesting, which is moving north of the boundary that was defined by that CUP. So not to put words into any of the planning entity study, but we would like to call out the fact that if they can take a close look at that, that'd be great. So the recommendation from the group was not to approve or to pass any approval other than request assistance or analysis by an SHC or similar, and then make sure that they pay special attention to the alignment between the CUP and the permit applications. Let me pause right there, see if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yep.
Yeah.
Basically, we're doing that anyway, we're doing what you said.
Yeah, no, I get it, but since in the sort of process of providing feedback, that the planning commission is just requesting for that to get done, I'm glad that you're thinking on the same lines. We also, and I think you're doing this already just by nature of those requests being forwarded to our legal counsel to begin with, we recognize that an SHC planning type entity is not a legal entity, so that our legal counsel will also see it for the merit of the requests associated with legal concepts.
That's happening too.
Yep, good. Then we seem to be aligned. Appreciate your support and being able to remain relevant in our governance. Let me know.
Glad you brought up your changing the meetings, because that's on the agenda.
Coming up.
Set them for next year.
Yeah, I made a note in our thing, we'll get it changed tonight, it's on there to
We'll
talk
have
about.
tonight. We don't care when you have them, you have them anytime you want.
I had a chance to read your report, and I did have the meetings already set to be approved this month. But I did them with the first Monday of the month as well. If you guys
Yeah,
wanna look at those, or
Yep.
if you wanna approve that one,
yep,
I have them.
perfect, yeah. No,
Good,
we can act on that when we get there.
good.
Thank you.
Alrighty, if there's any questions, like I said, this is something that we would like to just put in front of you systematically, no matter who shows up. That way you've got a written document, and we can enter it into the record. That'd be great. Thank you.
Thanks. Next planning commission is Monday, December 9th at 6:30 PM. Next town board meeting is Wednesday, December 11th at 7 PM. There is a other meeting, clerk, do you wanna cover that quick, or?
Dick was gonna
Perfect.
cover those,
Just
I
to-
don't know when, which other wants to do it on
Do you wanna just-
there. Probably under new business.
Oh, do you wanna just let them know that you're having a meeting right
Yeah,
now,
we can do
or?
it under new business, I suppose.
Okay. Unfinished business then, with no other. Public meeting, set the date for public meeting on the ordinance revisions.
When do you want to do that? Before the next town board meeting?
Yeah, we can do that.
How much? To leave what, an hour probably?
I would say at least that.
Yeah, we might get input back from the public. I mean, Pam sent them out for us to review, but we gotta have the public hearing in case the public is,
I'll put them on, in case anybody wants to know, I'll put the drafts on the website for the 3 ordinances that we want to review at the public meeting.
and the ones we're doing, just for information, is animal ordinance. What's the other ones?
And the vehicle,
Vehicle ordinance and,
oh geez,
I got them here.
I can't believe I can't.
One is traffic, it's parking and stuff. Parking, animals, oh, solar energy ordinance. Okay, let's do that at 6 o'clock before the next meeting.
Sounds good.
6 o'clock on the 11th, December 11th.
11th.
Roadway limits,
Okay, got information to Pam and sent what I knew to you guys. Just curious what you want to do with them, if you, what I did do is Well, I sent you guys, I sent it to Pam, she forwarded it to you guys, the responses from, that we got from our attorney, and who else? County. Anyway, I sent you guys all that, and then I went around and looked at different weight limits that Cottage Grove has posted and what, Woodbury has posted. And what I'm thinking is Island Drive over there, you know, most of the other ones, all the other roads around are, some of them that are in better shape than that are they got a 3-ton weight limit on them. Other ones got a 4-ton weight limit on it. For the public, we can't get an answer back. We can't get an answer back from anybody on how to put a weight limit on our roads. We asked our attorney, we didn't get a clear answer from him. We asked county people, didn't get a clear answer from them. We asked engineers that were here doing our roads, didn't get a clear answer from them. All they told us is, well, you can, but, I mean, you gotta have some justification behind it. You know, the condition of the road, it's like, example, Great Cloud Trail. The county did what they call a thump test on, where they drop a big heavy weight on it. And like he said, yeah, that came back, it's good for 9 tons. But he said that means the base is in the middle of the road. That don't mean the shoulders are, the edge of the road, anything else to go along with it. You know, and like I was talking to people from Cottage Grove, and they said, you know, like on Great Cloud Trail there, you know, everybody's seen all them trucks going back and forth down there, and Rachel's talking over 30,000 truckloads of material going in there. You're gonna have another 30,000 trucks coming out of there. And I don't think that included the probably 500 trucks that went by there in the past month.
Yeah.
And when you see the trucks go by there, where they ride, right on the edge of the blacktop. I mean, like, you know, everybody else said, if you had curbs along there, there's nowhere for that blacktop to go. With no curbs there, what's it do? It mushes the blacktop out. So that's the problem with that road. So we should lower that to something, I'm thinking. And on Island Drive, that's probably a $500,000 road for us to fix. And it really, it's junk right now. And the road that's worse than that is 105th Street down there. That's even junkier yet. Theoretically, that should be the next one we do. But it's probably, in today's dollars, looking at the last roads we did, Great Cloud Island Drive is probably pushing 600,000 in today's dollars. And what do we got left? About 100 and some thousand? You know, long story short, we don't have enough money to be fixing it, so we gotta preserve it somehow. Like I say, I looked at roads in Cottage Grove, Hunter Street, Lamar, looked at Dale Road in Woodbury, and a lot of them are in better shape than that, and got, like I say, a 3-ton and a 4-ton thing. So,
What is it now? What is it?
9, it's all 9.
Oh, we got all 9s?
Yep, yeah,
So-
unless we derate it.
Given the fact that we don't get any response from anybody, can we legally do that? Or do we just do it and,
I think we do it, and if somebody wants to take us to court.
What I'd like to recommend is that we just put it on, because we're gonna have SCH and our attorney in person, and have it be an item to have an in-person discussion when he's in with us, and just talk about it in person with him, and just get a better feeling from legal on it.
When we gonna have both of them? When's
Well,
that?
just when we go through the variance, we're gonna have to have a meeting with all those guys, so we could have it on that agenda also.
Well, the SHC, that's the planner.
Correct, but just when our attorney's
she
here.
won't.
No,
just see it?
Yeah, you gotta reply back from our attorney.
Yeah, we gotta reply back.
well, I
to
get,
the
but
attorney.
they'll, I'm sure they'll, yeah.
Yeah. that's-
We would, in my opinion, we'd have to hire engineers, somebody else put a stamp on it. We can't just, I don't think, but I could be wrong, but
You know, we asked the county engineer, got nothing. We asked that engineer that did the stuff for Pioneer and 99th, he wouldn't give us a clear answer. It's like nobody wants to stick their neck out. It's like, you know, and then to top it off, our attorney, he said, well, you need an ordinance to back these up. Well, reading state law, you do need an ordinance. It does say that in there. Well, I sent an email to Cottage, I looked through Cottage Grove's ordinances, couldn't find anything. The only thing I found on an ordinance was something to do with restricting traffic on Hadley between 80th and 90th Street. Okay, sent him an email yesterday. What are the ordinance you got to back up your weight limits you're putting out? Never got an answer. I emailed Woodbury City Hall, asked them, what do you got for an ordinance to do it? They sent me a thing back and they said, well, we don't have an ordinance for it. We try to deal with the truckers one-on-one, where they're going, and we get pretty good compliance, and when they don't comply, then we call MnDOT, commercial vehicle inspection, wake people on them. So we really, nobody will give us an answer. That's the crummy part.
I'd be pretty tough to put my vote on it without having a higher party tell us we can do that. That's just my
Yeah.
opinion.
I don't know, I agree with you, but good luck finding somebody. Nobody will do it. I mean, you talk to the head engineer from the county and he kind of, well, you can do it, but he says, basically he's saying, don't put a 1,000-pound weight limit on a road, I mean, you can't.
Well, you gotta be reasonable.
Yeah, that's, he basically
but,
said you gotta be reasonable.
I think,
And state law says you can do it for deterioration now.
well, I think you bring up a good point with all the trucks that are gonna go into this Rachel. I think it should be reduced.
Why don't we do this?
I think we should.
The Rachel thing is not really, most of your roads ain't gonna be a problem another month, because it's gonna freeze and get hard, so we got
Till spring.
time.
Yep.
We got time,
Did you read all the stuff
Yeah.
that I sent?
yeah.
Why
Yeah.
don't you guys think it over, and if you come up with a great, wonderful idea, we'll talk about it again in December.
Okay.
Because I mean, we got time, this don't have to be done right away.
Can I comment?
But no,
Sure.
you bring it
Well,
back.
I don't understand, they built these roads out here, but they don't know how much they can handle? That doesn't make sense.
They-
From 99th and Pioneer.
They're just deteriorating the topping, everything's wearing off, so as your topping and all your structure gets older, it just deteriorates. The biggest problem with our roads in Gray Cloud are we don't have curb. So when you run weight, like they can handle the weight, but everything's just gonna push out.
They're-
So
They're rated,
our roads are constantly growing wider and wider with the truck traffic.
but they're rated 9 tons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
when
just,
they
that's
built
just
them, they're
thump,
rated-
that's just like
So
thump,
they built them to handle.
They rated
Yeah.
they're rated for
Okay,
9
that's-
ton roads.
That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, and then yeah,
Because like some of them, they'll only put like 3 inches on, and then.
that's all
they'll
straight,
make it.
straight down weight. But that's when you get narrow roads, everything just pushes out, it's got nowhere to go.
and then they also look at too, they'll give it a 9 ton, all roads are rated 9 ton, unless you derate them, okay? So, the county road, we have nothing to do with that. But the county feels with the condition it's in and the base and all that, it's good for 9 tons, or they derate it. Okay, Island Drive over there, that's a piece of junk, everybody drives on it, you can tell it's a piece of junk. Well, by state law, you can change it for deterioration.
Oh,
So that's why you'll see some roads, they'll have a derated thing on, you turn on, rebuild them, it goes back up again. So. Anyway,
Well, I think just something for the board to think about in the future months. What's our enforcement mechanism? Just because you put up a sign doesn't mean, how are we gonna
Oh,
enforce it? So just.
we'd have to draft an ordinance.
Right, and then
Yeah.
who's the enforcement agency on something, like, is it the sheriff, or,
Well,
like,
it-
who holds them accountable?
Well, that gets to be a little problematic because basically, I shouldn't say, maybe most truck drivers would obey it. Certainly not all of them, okay? And if they get caught, it's pretty hefty fine.
Pretty hefty fine,
And if
right?
somebody knew they're overweight, then it actually goes to the state, commercial vehicle enforcement people.
Right.
That's what Woodbury told me.
Yeah.
And then they deal it, and they can take a truck and have it weighed, or check their weight tickets and stuff like that.
I also feel like we'd wanna know what Holcim's trucks run inside this pit to pit and stuff are, cause they'd be I get there are roads, but it's stuff to talk about, it could affect stuff. I have no
Yeah.
idea how heavy of trucks they're running back and forth, but,
Well, they can run as heavy as they want, you just gotta put enough axles under them.
Right.
all right, we'll look into
Let's
some of
talk
that.
about that in December.
Yeah. Okay, other one, I'll talk about this. We got a couple of emails from residents on speed bumps. We talked about this a few months back. We got 2 of them, one was asking for speed bumps on Pioneer, another was talking put speed bumps on Island Drive. This is repeat for most of you. After talking to Cottage Grove city administrator, she suggested not doing it. She said, you're creating a liability. You create that liability, you better be prepared to pay for it. Head engineer for the county, you know, he basically said the same thing. You're creating a liability. You better have them well marked. You know, snowplows don't like them. Neither one of them recommended having them. And driving around my little school bus job, I don't see any of them on public streets anywhere anymore. I see a few private ones. I've seen some private ones down at Pine Harbor School. That's a little different deal. There's pedestrians right there. I know there was ones in Woodbury. I know they were there and they got tore out. So if they wonder why we don't put them in, that's why we don't put them in. And both of them, I figure both of them people have way more expertise than us three do on traffic and lawsuits and what you can and can't do.
Can you repeat the two?
Cottage Grove City Administrator and
County.
Washington County Engineer. So anyway, that's the speed bumps. Any questions on that? Okay. Want me to talk about that EAW?
Were you gonna do that under new business?
Oh,
How about with the Holcim?
oh, okay, all right.
I got one other thing then too is, we just met with, get them all mixed up now, SEH now, for road meeting on Pioneer. We just had a site visit, walkthrough on that. That road was, completely shot in with GPS and all that, so that Pioneer Road is as wide or wider in areas. Actually, they widen it in some areas as the existing road. It did not get narrower in any spots. We did have some concerns with some shoulders and stuff, and it sounds like they got to that. They did agree that looked kind of rough, so they're out fixing that. And you guys noticed it looks like it got done, so I'll have to check it out. But so Pioneer, that kind of went good. It should be kind of done, and we're starting to get some bills in for that. So if there's any questions on that.
Will they be striping it?
No, I mean, we could do that if we feel, but yeah, otherwise, if,
Striping is really spendy.
Bendy, they ain't gonna stripe it.
I'm just taking a wild guess. That'd be over $5,000 to stripe that.
and it did come in so far under budget. Hopefully it keeps staying that way. So that's good. All right, new business. Road boss, he's resigning of 1/1, so is that an open position?
Yep.
Okay.
I'd like to just say this on video,
Yep.
that I worked with Dan Sebaskowitz,
Yeah,
the road boss, for 2 years as a clerk, and I have to say he was great to work with. I'm gonna really miss him. The guy was Johnny on the spot, always did whatever I asked him, and it was a lot. And I have to say that. If you are, anybody's thinking of wanting to be a road boss, think about putting up signs, moving signs, trimming trees, clearing off roads where trees fell, cleaning up dead animals. I could go on, but I just want to say thank you, Dan Sebaskowitz.
I think we had a,
You know, along with that, you had some people helping them. I mean, you know, Keith Peterson helped them they worked hand in hand. Keith helped them all the time. Keith's kid helped them. Who else? That's probably the two main ones. Because when they went to work most of the time, when he needed an extra hand, Keith was there, so thank Keith too.
you got a contact for that guy that showed up at our meeting? Just kidding. Too soon? Just kidding, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
You know what,
no,
with that said, we don't have a public works department, so we really rely on the citizens to kind of do their part and, and pick up trash or pick up branches and stuff along the road. Until we find another road boss, it's just, everybody's just gonna have to pitch in a little bit. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't know, a lot of people might not realize it, but like, over the years, there's been several times, we had a windstorm, for example, and, trees are down on Great Cloud Trail. Well, Excel can't get there and fix the power till the trees are gone. Well, who did that? Some of our residents with non-conforming properties. We had another snowstorm down here, and who came along again? People with some of their industrial equipment that live here that have non-conforming properties. Another time we had a real big snowstorm. It was a real good one, and power's out. Nobody down here had power. That time, who actually did it for us? It was Holcim. Okay. It was a little bit for them too. They needed power too. So I mean, it wasn't just for us, but you know, if it wasn't for our residents doing that kind of stuff, you know, when we get a snowstorm and a windstorm, we call a tree guy, it's like, well, you ain't done business with me ever before, I ain't gonna rush right down there and do business with you now. You know, I mean, believe it or not, we have trouble finding people to come down here, so thank God for our residents that come out and do it. I mean, one of the last ones, we're out there and it's me and this guy down from me and his 3 kids or 2 kids, and who else was helping us?
Yeah, we had a few boys, yeah.
Pam,
Patty?
Patty,
Yeah, so I mean, it's.
Get the tractors out and the saws out and clear them up.
Thank God some of our residents jump at that, because, you know, you can always hire somebody if you pay them enough. Oh, you wanna be top on the list? Okay, you know, it's $2,000 an hour, not 800, you know, so anyway.
All right, we'll set dates for 2025, and do we need a motion to move the
yeah,
planning, or do we just,
Here's the dates, Eduardo, I don't know if you can see them very well, here's the dates showing your first Monday. And now some of them,
oh, that's why that changed, right?
you don't get a whole lot in between, like in January, the second Wednesday of the month is the 8th. Which is.
Oh, there's a couple oddballs.
Can we
like
put
4
this,
months.
can we put this off till December?
Do we have to, we're ready,
Oh,
unless you want me to. Yeah,
well,
we can.
if there's a little conflict here, why don't you give you and Eduardo a month to work on it?
You could just bring the dates he wants
Yeah,
to
'cause
the
we don't-
meeting?
We don't care when they have their meeting. You wanna do that, Eduardo? Wanna wait a month?
That's fine.
Are you saying the Wednesday before the town meeting or the Monday?
Well, they just want a full week in between, but like Pam says, the 8th ends up being the second Wednesday, but January 6th is the one before. It's only 2 days, so you'd like to get that full 10-day. Yeah,
That happens in February too.
Memorial
Right.
Day and all that?
Why don't we let's put this off until December, and you can come back, you can work with Eduardo and get your dates, and,
We'll get the dates.
because some of it might not be the first Monday, it might be the Tuesday or whatever.
Well, it's okay, but just remember that right now, everybody knows it's on a certain Monday of every month. It's not Monday, maybe Tuesday, it might be Wednesday, it could be back to Monday the next.
Yeah, well,
That's
it'll
not
be
how-
posted, yeah.
It's not real efficient.
well, you got a month to work on it with them.
Got it.
That's why I'd sort of just kick it down the road a month, because we don't have to do it tonight.
Yeah.
there's time.
I mean, because it can just be 10 days prior to the meeting, whatever it is, yeah. We can word it in a fashion that it's still consistent. Perfect, all right, thank you.
And planning committee, I mean, the annual meeting will have to be set too. You guys have to-
That's set by law. Can't tell you exactly what it is, but
Yeah,
can't tell you what it is.
It's a secret law.
Yeah, it's a secret, someday in March.
March 12th,
Tuesday in March.
is it?
The annual, the local board of appeal and equalization meeting is always, so-
That's set by the county
It's
too.
set- That's set already, Thursday, April 10th.
We'll worry about the dates next month.
Let's make sure we get that annual meeting date on that too for next month, yeah.
Other new business, when I drove down Pioneer, I'd like to grade Pioneer once more before the year, because we're starting to get potholes that are getting water in them. As soon as they get the water in them, they get deeper real quick, so it'd be nice to grade it once before winter here. No gravel, just have them grade it.
Good with that? We're under budget. On the
Who's
road.
gonna grade it?
Yeah.
Probably around, I can
yeah.
go around again.
Are you, no gravel, just grade?
No, just
Perfect.
grade it, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no
I'll-
gravel.
We did earlier this
There's
year.
enough
probably
Do
would.
you need a motion for that? Make a
There's
motion to do that?
Yeah, I just want you guys' permission, that's all.
There's enough gravel on there, they could pull
Yep.
off the show.
Okay, I'll call them.
Okay, so this is a go?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Holcim's annual permit came in, and they also applied for a variance. I know like the planning commission recommended, that's the route we would be looking at, is using our, do we need to get a date set for, try to get hold of them to get a date set for a meeting or anything, or you just? There's a couple things, it's 2 separate issues. If we wanna talk about the permit for a minute. You know, we've been asking regularly to send in permits that meet our zoning ordinance, and the permit they applied for does not meet our zoning ordinance. So with the 60-day thing, this really just eats up a lot of time by having this. My opinion is the mining permit, we should just deny and have them reapply that meets our ordinance. And then the stuff that they're trying to have in here, that stuff needs to just get put into their variance, which we would look at separately. That's kind of my, instead of us trying to constantly, every year we seem to have to try and modify this stuff, and that really shouldn't be our job to modify it to make it meet our ordinance. They should be able to,
Well, this whole thing is going to the planner and the attorney, so let's just go with whatever he says and go with that.
I mean, I get the variance and stuff, but our job's to look at the mining. The administrative permit, I mean, I can't approve it how it is. I don't need a lawyer to tell me that, so
Right.
why, if they want to be efficient about it and not waste 30 days to do it,
So what do you wanna do?
my recommendation is that we just deny the permit. It's not suitable to our ordinance. So why, a homeowner comes in, they don't have it, we would just deny it, and they'd have to make it match. The variance obviously has to be looked at a lot closer, but I don't know if there's any other discussion on that?
No?
Need a motion? I can, just.
Yep, yeah, do you want to go up?
You know, I know you guys got a lot of information in that packet, but that letter, the recognition of.
Is that being turned on so they can hear you?
The recognition of non-conforming rights there, that is part of our administrative permit. We put that in there for a reason. We really would ask that you have your legal counsel review that whole packet, because it's really pretty much all as one. It's all tied together.
We can certainly wait. I mean, we've already looked at this, the packet, all the information that's been in here, that stuff's been, I mean, the township
stuff in
has,
the
the township
narrative?
has already weighed their opinion on,
But that
With
letter-
legal counsel.
The letter from Larkin Hoffman, the two letters from Larkin Hoffman are tied intrinsically to the permit application. And I really believe it would behoove you to have your legal counsel review all this. As well as SHC.
I was just trying to help you out, because you guys come in and Holcim always
understand.
says that we're dragging this
We
out for weeks
understand.
and weeks,
Nope, we
and
understand.
my opinion, that letter would fall into the variance packet very well, and that'd go to
The
fight
letter
for variance,
non-conforming
but
would
it does
fall
not.
into the administrative permit application as well. So we understand that there's going to be more review on this with those two documents that are added.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I
I
would-
don't care. I'd just make it noted that it was applied for and it does not meet Gray Cloud Islands Township's ordinances, so. I just want that noted. I mean, we'd recommend you guys to do that all the time. And I appreciate that you guys, I really appreciate that you guys are applying for variance and doing the correct process on that, but, the mining permit, it's just yearly.
It is tied together though, Dan. I mean,
That's fine. That's your opinion. We'll
well,
see what legal
I
says.
understand, and I hope that you have your legal counsel, you need experts to look at this. Not saying that you guys aren't great at what you do, but you do need some, as do we. So, thank you.
So do we gotta set dates for, or
We gotta wait and hear back from the
I think
attorney.
we
and
gotta,
that
I think
stuff.
we gotta wait and hear.
Yeah,
We're gonna meet with the planner, we're also gonna meet with our attorneys.
Yes.
all right, but all of us, yeah, we gotta be able to set that up. So do we gotta, are you
It'll be
gonna,
a closed meeting, so you guys can strategize, but, there's two meetings.
well, one's the EAW meeting, that's separate, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
That's
We just gotta
county.
wait- We gotta wait to hear back from, the last we heard from, what's his name, the attorney.
Kay Snyder.
Last we heard from Snyder, he's reviewing everything and can go from there,
And the planner as well.
and the planner. So them two are working together, then they'll have to get a hold of us and figure out what we wanna do. That's why we hire them.
okay,
Okay.
Nice job.
We could tell the people what it's about though. Basically, just so the public knows what's going on. Holcim has requested, they requested basically in a nutshell, variances to mine farther than what our ordinance says they can, outside the extraction limits set by the town ordinance. And they have reasons to think they're legal and we have reasons to think not, so it's in the attorney's hands and the planner's hands.
It's a legal question.
It's a legal question.
And also, what's the planner's role in this legal question?
They would just be there to help us advise, to make decisions, but
More
yeah.
For an advisory
Yeah.
board.
Is Washington County involved too?
Not in this side, not.
Not on this
Another
side,
thing
but
they
the
will.
other side. That's totally different
Okay.
thing.
Dick will talk about that here.
Yeah, okay.
Is there any update on reclamation plans, if they're asking to
No.
increase the boundaries of their land?
No, for,
nothing like that.
for reclamation planning, we have nothing in our ordinance. Counties, I shouldn't say they've always handled it, because there really is, there is not what I would call,
So if we've asked and we have not received.
let me tell you what happened. Was it 1 year ago or 2 years ago? There was a meeting up at the county, they went in for their 5-year annual permit renewal. And I was up there, who was up there? Me, Ted, Dan Roller, Pam, okay, and Holcim. And they're working on getting their 5-year renewal. Okay, their 5-year permit is gonna be up at the end of 2025. And this is at the county planning board. And we brought up reclamation plan. They should have a suitable reclamation plan before you give them the next permit, the one from, 26 to whatever it comes out to. So that's what they went with, and they told them they're not getting a permit, they're not getting their next 5-year permit unless they submit a suitable reclamation plan by the end of 2025. That sound right, Patty?
Yeah, let me go back up.
Sure, okay.
So with respect to the reclamation plan, Dick is right. When we went for our last county renewal, we had a plan, and they wanted us, a couple of the planning advisory commission members wanted us to come back with something else, so we all agreed that when we reapply here at the end of 2025, we will include a reclamation plan. Now, you need to keep in mind that that reclamation plan will be per what the county's guidance, their ordinance is. It will not be more, probably will not be what the end, someday somebody will use that property for, whoever owns it, be it Holcim or be it somebody else that might buy it and choose to develop it or do whatever. So our reclamation plan will meet what the county standards are in their ordinance for mines that close out. So just to be clear on that. But yes, we will be working very closely with the county. We will engage with the board as well about the reclamation plan for the quarry. So.
That was part of the reason we went through all that, change in our zoning ordinance with the IUPs, CUPs, and conditional uses and permitted uses. Because as we were meeting with the county one day, one of the permitted uses for their property over here was a park, and it was a permitted use. Well, the county gave us this idea. They said, well, because Carla Bingham was sitting there, she said, well, what do you think about an RV park? Well, nobody really jumped at that. They jumped against it. And well, we weren't too excited about that. And then one of them said, well, take that out of there. I said, well, we don't want to take anything out that's taking anything away from them. We'll end up in court. Well, he said, make it a conditional use. So that's what we did. They can still make a park out of it, but it'll be a conditional use. So whoever the governing agency is could put conditions on it. So somebody can't come in there and put, like I say, an ATV park or whatever. Something undesirable. Yeah, Ted.
These other communities that, are doing business in, is it unusual for, like, Cottage Grove to not have a reclamation ordinance and just defer to the county?
I doubt it, because they don't work, the county don't control they're not underneath the county's ordinances. They're under their own ordinances. As a township, we're under a bunch of their stuff. Cities are, go ahead.
Different.
Cities are a little bit different than townships, like we are in other townships as well in Minnesota. And typically, townships defer reclamation to the counties that they're in. Typically, they'll have to do a tandem permit with the county and the township. Things like trucking and stuff are rated, the counties will defer to, the township, but then larger things like reclamation, the townships will defer to counties.
And like she said, the reclamation plan that would be when they're done and out of there. Doesn't mean a future use, it just shows what it would be when they walk away from it.
You can get a private buyer will come in or whatever, and they could offer to do something complete different that we'd approve of or not.
Okay, next issue. Holcim's working on mining on the east side of the road too, okay? Separate issue, same company, okay? They did an environmental assessment worksheet, and the county wants to meet with us and discuss that, and they won't even give us the thing. They said they can't give it out to us until it's given out to the public. But they wanna meet,
November.
here's exactly what they got. We would like to set up a meeting and discuss the Holcim EW to expand the mine to the west side of County Road 75. I think that was supposed to be east side, okay? Could you help us set up a meeting in November so we can provide an overview of the EAW to some of the township supervisors and planning commission? Similar to the meeting with Dick and the planning commission member earlier this year. So, they're having that,
November 18th, 1:30.
the
November.
9th.
What?
I think it's the 9th.
Did they move it? No, it's the
Oh, no.
18th.
November 18th
18th.
at 1:30.
Yeah.
18th. Okay.
November 18th.
I know I've been talking to the county too, and the meeting that you folks have with them to talk about the,
EAW.
AAW,
Yeah.
that is not to be a public meeting.
Right,
It's just to be with.
we know
Yeah.
that. Okay, we know that. We know who's
It's
going.
not a public
We
meeting.
just don't know which planner.
Oh, planner, okay. You really
Planner, I was looking at Eduardo, not everybody.
Well, that's why I brought it up with these two, though.
November 18th at 1:30 PM.
Jake,
How about
I have a board meeting.
wait a minute.
Well, who's all going to that though?
your group?
Oh, yeah, it's 11, okay, 11, 18. Okay, you know what? There's-
Yeah, and this just came,
There's another meeting, okay. So who do you want to go to that? One of you two want to go, or me, or who?
no,
It's
you might as
already
well,
set
yeah,
up.
you
It's
might as
already
well.
set up.
Okay.
You're going, I'm going, I'm just
Okay.
looking for a planner. I was
Yeah.
gonna ask him tonight.
Yeah, I got a board meeting at 1:30, actually at 1.
How about Jake?
Yeah, how about-
We'll try to get you.
Let's send Jake.
Yeah, how about,
It would be fine.
yeah, Jake
I don't
can
know
be
if
good.
Jake can make it.
If the wife says Jake can make it, he'll be there.
Ask the
If he
pub-
can.
There. Probably, I don't know, probably. I'll text him now.
Yeah,
Transition.
and it's gonna be here.
Should be
But
here.
yes, Jake will
Yeah.
try to make it. but
Yeah, because it'd be good if,
yeah, likely.
good if we had a planning commission person, especially him, he's gonna be a board member after,
Good.
later. Okay, what else we got? Oh, there's a groundwater plan. Okay, we got,
From the county?
I don't know if anybody cares, well, they should. I'm getting things mixed up.
What's that have to do with the groundwater?
Pam,
What?
got anything in your computer on that groundwater plan thing?
I'm sure I do, I sent it to all of you.
Do we want to just make that, because they don't need feedback till middle of January or whatever?
Yeah,
Do we want to make, is there a way to put that on our website or something where people could link it and read it if they wanted, or?
yeah, that'd be the best thing to do. The county's got, wouldn't hurt for the planning commission to look at this if they want to too, Eduardo.
I don't have any information on this, I'm
It,
sorry.
we just got it.
We just got it, just this week. I went through it, it's quite lengthy. And they're actually, they're looking for public comments, okay? So Pam puts it on the website, people can go to the website and get it. Why don't you send it out to Eduardo and the planning commission members? And anybody can submit their things back, and to me, it's, you know, I just went through it real rough, but to me, there is a concern on the groundwater plan. Because I take a look at Holcim down here and this hole down here, okay? They pump water out of there 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, year round, okay? If they ever get the mine on the other side of the road, you're gonna have the same thing over there. Well, Lynn's well over here dropped down since they put it in 15 feet, 20 feet, something like that, I got it in here. Some of the other wells went down a little bit, and basically you think about it, you got this big hole in the ground and your water's coming in, well, where's the water coming from to replace it? I can tell you where it's coming from, it's coming out of the river. Especially now with this backwater opened up with the new bridge. In fact, one of our residents, his well was fine until they opened that bridge up. They opened the bridge up and all of a sudden he's got that, what they call chloroform bacteria in his water, had to drill a new well. Okay, that was never a problem until the bridge was there. What I'm thinking is, You got that crummy water from the river going down there, and you're continually draining water to the low spot back here. To me, that's probably an issue, you know. I mean, the other plant down there, they don't do that, they don't de-water it. Fills up with water, sits there. Okay, so when the rain comes down, the rain comes in, keeps it full. I know even though the river goes down a foot, the water goes down a foot. Same thing around these wells around here. River comes up a foot, these wells come up a foot. During the flood, when the water come up 4 feet, a bunch of these wells came up 3-4 feet. So, anyway, just something to look at. I think it's important.
That's not a us thing, that's a state county thing that
County.
they're looking for feedback on, so yeah.
And they're looking for public input, so hopefully there's people out in the township smarter than me that can look at that and maybe, hey, we got a problem here.
Any other business?
I got one more thing.
All right, jeez.
Mr. Mobley, we don't need your trash receipts from tenants for your weekly trash pickup. When we asked you about cleanup down there, and we asked for information to prove you're making progress forward, we're looking for a dumpster receipt. When you send our clerk your copy of your past due trash receipt with your current payment, that's not what we're interested in.
Okay, I'll
Shit.
not send any more then.
It's a lot of spam to go
Send
through.
the ones that show you're cleaning the place up, not your weekly trash.
Right now, I'm just hand picking rather than, go out with a half of a barrel of trash and fill it up, but hand pick a few things and get rid of them.
So you're still making progress?
Yes.
I drove down there the other day, I noticed the stuff ain't out on the street anyway, so it's not getting worse.
All right, get a motion to adjourn?
Anybody else got anything out there?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.